Every day that goes by, I am very much convinced that life was meant to break you down. From the moment that we were born, we experience nothing but trauma. Various traumas that have broken our psyche, leaving us with layers upon layers of things to heal from. This is Yasira, spiritual samurai. And there is a dark side to healing, because the truth about healing from all these traumas from your early years is that it seems like it never ends. It seems like you get better one moment and then all of a sudden you get hit with that wave of sorrow or anger, sometimes aggression, so that's why I recommend getting into combat sports, hitting the boxing gym to release all of that aggression, because I know for me, I definitely feel that. Now, I make a lot of videos about self-improvement, healing, spirituality. I mention God and things like that, but I'm no preacher or nothing like that. I don't subscribe to a religion, but I do believe in the truth, and I understand the importance of prayer and fasting and interpreting dreams in order to really get an understanding of what's going on in your surroundings. But sometimes I can get lost in that not all dreams are prophetic. Some of them could be sent by the enemy, because there are dreams that continue to haunt me to this very day. There have been these certain, spiritual attacks that I face, and the same pattern has been going on for many, many years. My very first incubus nightmare started when I was 10 years old. So all of that, it dates back to SA trauma, which I already experienced that long before I even had the nightmares. So you can only imagine how early that was. And when I look at it, it's just like, I'm surprised that I'm even somewhat psychologically decent, even though I have my moments. And I make these videos to really, bring comfort to other people that are also going through the same thing. That's really my main motivation, is to bring comfort and to show that, hey, there's other people that are going through a similar thing. There's a sense of comfort when you hear someone that is very calm. At least I come off as somebody very calm in these videos, because these videos are very therapeutic for myself, and I know that by me sharing my experiences and being my authentic self, I'm able to help others heal as well, because now they get to look at their own life and their own experiences and start to kind of appreciate their own existence. Because when you have traumas, it can make you feel like a broken human being that can never be repaired. And I know sometimes I feel that way. And today happens to be a day where I felt that way. I felt like I was going to always be broken, and that there's no remedy. We're plagued by all these different spirits. Sometimes the vagabond spirit, which is like the spirit that loses motivation to live, doesn't want to participate in society anymore, just kind of want to just not even be alive sometimes. And that feeling is real, because especially when you come from poverty, when you come from various generational curses, and it's up to you. You've been the rock. You've been the one that held everything together. You're always the one that does most of the work, and it seems like no one has been really supporting you. You are basically put in situations where you're always the one giving more than receiving, and this has been going on ever since you were a child. And then you had abuse going on from certain people, certain relatives, and it's very disheartening. And just thinking about that, man, that PTSD, more like complex PTSD, it just makes it very hard to enjoy life. You have a hard time with that. And I know I do, man. And I'm gonna say this: as much as I talk about spirituality and I mention God and the importance of having a relationship with God, I look, at the end of the day, I'm no preacher, you know. I'm not a religious person. I'm pretty much somebody that's really searching for the answers and trying to keep myself composed and trying to really find my way out of this. But I've recovered enough to be able to function somewhat normally. But man, when you get hit with those nightmares or when you get hit with those spiritual attacks, I'm telling you, it sends you right back. It's like you spiral right back to where you were when you were in the dark place. Because those dreams can be very vivid, and it's nonstop. Yeah, and I'm the type of person that, I pray and things like that. Sometimes it might be calm, but then the war starts, the spiritual war just start to kick in, when it wants to kick in. So at this point, it kind of forces us to be fighters. We have no choice but to fight. That's why we're in fight or flight mode. People wonder why. Like, we're so distrustful of people. We lose faith in humanity. Sometimes we lose faith in God. And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I feel like giving up. Sometimes I feel like, what's the point? What's the point of that? Like, I don't even want to do nothing crazy. Like, I don't even want to be evil. Like, I don't want to be evil. I just want to be left alone. I just want to, like, pretty much, sometimes I just feel like drinking my life away. I won't even lie to you. Sometimes I just feel like just giving up because the direction that this world is going, it doesn't benefit a person with a good heart. It doesn't really benefit somebody that's putting so much into something, and it just becomes so exhausting. Like, living becomes extremely exhausting when you're doing all of this and you've already, as you're working hard, you're working all these hours, you're doing all of this, and then just to get nowhere, you do so much, and it's so expensive to just live. It's so expensive to survive. And you think about your childhood, and it just makes you even more mad, makes you very upset. It seems like you just never had a break, and that's kind of what I'm feeling too. And so it kind of makes you question God. It makes you question, what's the point of even having faith anymore? And I hate to say that, but I'm a human being, and there's times where I even question myself. I mean, there's even in the Bible, even Jesus himself even questioned his own purpose. When he was on the cross, he was saying, I think he said, he was talking to God, right? Jesus was telling God, oh God, why hast thou forsaken me? Like, it's almost like he felt like God was forsaking him, and he's the son. So that I can definitely relate with that. Every time I feel this way, I think about that scripture, But other than that, I mean, I don't even know. It's just, sometimes you just go through that spiritual exhaustion, and it's not a coincidence because I had some very strange dreams last night. I was spiritually attacked last night. So even though I prayed, so it's just, at this point, it just seems like, I don't know. I guess some of us, we really are just, spiritual warriors, spiritual samurai. And it just seems like we can't escape from all of this pain that we have inside. It's like sometimes I feel like I'm not even human. I feel like I'm supposed to be bionic, and I'm just supposed to just take all of this trauma and just somehow live with it. And I managed to get some things done. I managed to do what I need to do, but sometimes you just want to throw in the towel, because even the strongest person could sometimes have had enough, honestly. You realize that the more, the years go by, you're getting older, and it seems like all of this work that you're putting in, all the good things, you look back at how good you were to people, You look back at the people you loved, the people that you were so enamored with, you know, the people that you really gave your all to, just for them to just disrespect you and just push you away and treat you like you're nothing. And then they got the audacity to smear your name as if you weren't that amazing person that you were. You know? It's like, what kind of world is this? You know, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I hate being chosen. And you know you're chosen. You know you're chosen based on your life experiences and this your spiritual gifts and all these different things that you have going on, and especially the rejection faced for no damn reason. All these traumas and, you know, all these premonitions and visions, dreams, psychic like, prophetic like gifts, spiritual gifts basically. It's like all these different factors, not fitting in with society, being a free thinker, thinking for yourself. It seems like nobody has your back. It's a hard path. It's a very difficult path. That's where the solitude comes in. But I think the rejection and being ostracized for no reason, just because a lot of times you being a good person, it's almost like this world punishes you for doing the right thing. This world will hate you for being good. It's crazy, right? The world will hate you for being good. And then you can't help but, really ask God, like, okay, if the world hates those who are good, why would you put us in this world? Why would we be put in a world where we're hated for being what God wanted us to be, right? Don't you think that'd get exhausting? And then when I think about this, I think about, there must be a reason why Noah was a drunk. I mean, Noah was like a heavy drinker. That man was always drunk, it seems. And this is the same guy who was telling everybody about the flood, was warning everybody about the impending doom that was coming. He got the ark ready. Everybody laughed at him. They thought he was a clown. And come to find out, everything he said was accurate. Sometimes I wonder, you know what? I understand exactly why he was a drunk, honestly. Because being around a world like this, that you have so much love for people, you want to help them, you want to warn them about things, and they just think you're crazy. You know, they laugh at you, think you're a clown. You show people love and they hate you. You know, they reject you. You meet somebody that was never properly loved, and you know what it's like to live with trauma. You know what it's like to live with pain. So it's not like you came from this, perfect home and things like that. No, you know what pain and suffering is. And you met somebody that went through the same kind of pain, but guess what? They chose a completely different path than you did, and they end up hurting you. They chose to be a narcissist. They chose to be a soulless one, whereas you're a chosen one. You still have that light. God picked you to have it. And God picked you because you picked God. Even though sometimes I'm like, I wonder about that. But anyway, you sit back and you realize, like, you know how rare it is for a person to go through all of the traumas that you've gone through and to still turn out to be a beautiful human being. Because it's just, or not just a beautiful human being, but a solid person. And even then we get exhausted at times, because now it seems like there ain't too many of us around, and there's not really many people to relate to, because when you're healed and you're solid and you're well put together, you can't really relate with people that are also solid, because some of the solid people, they don't really have trauma like that, so they can't really understand whenever you have your moments, when you have those PTSD episodes and things like that. They don't get it. They don't understand. You can't talk about your traumas. Sometimes it just, it's like it's embedded into us. As much as we could be the most hardworking people, we could be the most loving, talented, passionate people, there's going to be a moment where we're going to have to let some things off our chest. And that's why I like making videos, and I do my writing and my blog and, expressing myself like this because I know that there's people out there that can really resonate, and it's really a relief to hear another voice, a voice that sounds very therapeutic, speaking about these things, and this could be somebody's thoughts right now, because these are my thoughts and somebody out there could have the same thoughts, so that's the thing about it, and might as well do it, right? But you sit back and you really think like, wow, like it is extremely rare for people with a lot of trauma, especially in early age, to reach such a high level of healing, like to really get to the point where we're at right now, to the point that it becomes very lonely for us because there's not really many people that can relate to us. So if we tell our stories to regular people that haven't experienced these traumas, you're gonna traumatize them. Our stories can traumatize them, because they're just like, oh my God, what the fuck is this shit? Because it's crazy. I know you got some crazy stories. I know I do. So that's what it is. And we don't want to do that to people, but it sucks that you can't really express yourself sometimes. But, hey, what can you do, right? That's the whole point of sharing our, testimonies in our own platforms, and whoever likes, listens, subscribes, hey, they're welcome to, so. And I've noticed there's been a surge of likes and views in my latest videos, and I just want to thank everyone for doing so. I'm going to be making more content, so stay tuned, and God bless.